Single player. So it's important to understand why games are sometimes single player, multiplayer, MMO, massive multiplayer online, because you need to make a decision when you're making a game as to which kind of player interaction, single, multiplayer, MMO, you're going to allow, or whether you're allowing multiple modes as well. And so these are not random decisions. These are decisions that are made by the developer and are well thought out. So single player games tend to be where obviously input from one player is required. So you've not got more than one player, you've just got one single player. And examples might be Red Dead Redemption 2, Witcher, so the RPGs such as Witcher, Zelda, Assassin's Creed, and then Resident Evil, Skyrim, so other open worlds, XCOM 2, so strategic games, omnipresent games, Days Gone, and then released in the last few days, The Last of Us Part 2. So these single-player games tend to be story-driven games and are often advanced by non-player characters, so computer-controlled allies with artificial intelligence that carry the story forward in the direction that the developer wants you to go. So it's important that there are other non-player characters, quite often allies, as well as antagonists, so enemies, in other words. There are also non-player characters that will ally with you, so that you don't sort of feel isolated within the game. And so computer control non-player characters mean that single-player games can still deliver engaging stories, and the single player gets immersed in the world along with the non-player characters, and the story the narrative, the story can still be driven forward. Often there's deep characterization, so if there's one person playing one player, one avatar, quite often then a protagonist, a good person, a hero in effect, that there's good characterization within there. And so, say for example, Last of Us Part 2 is a typical example of that, where you build a relationship with that one character, and then other allies, other non-player characters wrap around that storyline. Having empathy with the character means that the single player is sympathetic with the main protagonist, it should say, in the game.